What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Kevin Cage back with another cryptocurrency video. I want to show on an exchange where XRP almost hit $1 last night. I'm sure you guys were awake. It was around midnight my time. I could not sleep, and I saw a huge arbitrage opportunity that was very short-lived. I'm assuming that maybe some trading bots and exchanges took advantage of it. We have to account for all of the Tether volume in the market as well that is artificially propping this up. So very crazy, but also very, very exciting. Now, we did see really quick, we'll talk about Bitcoin, and then I want to go over XRP, and then we'll go over some additional news. So be sure to like and subscribe, and let's keep going. Right here, guys, Bitcoin is quickly approaching the all-time high price. Now, keep in mind, every exchange had a different all-time high for Bitcoin. And for this example, I have an alert set for $19,783. I would be so happy to see this go off during this video. Wouldn't surprise me one bit to surpass all-time high. And what's even crazier, just for fun, is we have to understand this. Well, let's go to a monthly, so it's a little shorter. The craziest thing is, from 20,000, I think we know, from 20,000, a mere 50% pump is about 30,000, is a $30,000 Bitcoin. That is absolutely crazy to see how far we've come. And very, very exciting. But keep in mind, banks are, rushing, giving us $300,000 Bitcoin predictions by next year. Just be wary of that, because understand, banks, they do not have your best interest at heart. They never do. So just be very, very cynical. And I think I made it a point on, my trading strategy and everything that I'm doing going into 2021. And I tweeted that, and I'll probably talk about it in the next few videos. So let's show XRP really quick. So if we can take a look at some other exchanges, people will say, what are you talking about? XRP didn't go that high. It was, around 60 cents. We had a nice rally, and we're in the 80 cents range. Very nice. So for example, on Bitfinex, we can see a wick that was only up to about 77 cents. So nothing too crazy. All right. But then what you realize is when you go to Coinbase, I was on the phone last night on TradingView and on Coinbase, and I was talking on speaker, freaking out because I was looking on like Bitfinex and Bitstamp and seeing, a 75, 78 cent XRP, but my Coinbase app was showing much higher. Now here's Coinbase. Look at this wick on Coinbase. Went all the way up to almost 92 cents per XRP. That is absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. And you're going to see more of this in the future. Tether volume, everything. But I am truly looking for ODL to ramp up next year to provide this new ground floor to make it higher and higher and higher. And if you guys think $1 per XRP is a lot, and you've been watching this channel for 2-3 years, you understand that that is not, XRP is not meant to be some low value stable coin. It is truly all or nothing. And it is one of the longest living projects that has been trialed and has real proof of concepts with some of the top banks in the world. All right. And also, before I keep going, guys, I wanted to just talk about a little fun fact here. So I have XRP right here, and let's pull up silver, and that ticker is just XAG, as we know, because we put X because, no nation owns it. Typically, on the elemental chart, gold would be AU. You put XAU. It is not, an actual currency of a nation. So we're going to do silver. And let me delete this, had some fibs drawn there. And remember, early on, let's just go to the weekly, we used to kind of follow along, and this was just for fun. Apologies with all the moving averages I have here. But just for fun, remember when we used to kind of follow along and ignore the decimal place. But for example, when we were around, the 25 cent range or 20 cent range, silver was following suit and kind of around that same region. Now it was usually within like 2 weeks or so. So I used to joke around when XRP was 25 cents, all of a sudden silver would bump up to $25 per ounce. When silver bumped up to $28 an ounce, XRP would bump up to 28 cents. I almost said 28 cents per ounce, 28 cents total. So it's really fun to watch. And now we've just completely watched them separate. I mean, we're chilling over at 67 cents in total. Very, very exciting, guys. And just keep in mind, any dips that do come, any manipulation is purely just temporary. You understand, you've seen the potential. Remember when we flew to $3.84 as an all-time high in 2018, early 2018, please, please, please. I feel there are a lot of newcomers. Maybe they, talked to, family members, bought some XRP just now at 50 cents or 80 cents, and they're going to freak out if it goes down a little bit. Do not freak out. Understand what you hold. Please, I just encourage all of you guys, after this type of thing, little pullbacks are expected, and just understand that the potential for this is much, much bigger than it's ever been. It will surpass all-time high, in my opinion, in the future with ease. And that is not financial advice. I encourage all of you to do your own research and decide for yourselves. All right. So let's keep going. Right here, guys, in other news, should be no surprise, Bitcoin now has a greater market capitalization than MasterCard. Bitcoin reached 16th place among the world's biggest entities after its market cap grew to nearly $335 billion. You can see right here the total crypto market cap, Bitcoin, XRP, Ethereum, all these altcoins, and one of our biggest altcoins, and this is a joke, Tether. We can see that it's almost at $600 billion once again. Remember seeing those highs as we approached 800 billion a couple years ago. Time flies. We have even more infrastructure built now in lower barriers to entry. Of course, Coinbase is a little easier to use. Everyday people are embracing digitalization. Banks are finally focusing on real-time payments. This is the future. Like US banks can now custody and hold digital assets. Guess what they want to do? Manipulate it and sell it to you at a premium. So be wary of all of this, and remember, be your own bank. And also, we're going to keep a close eye on this Tether volume. Absolutely insane. I know in yesterday's video, we were around 70 or even $80 billion in 24-hour volume. Look at this, $107 billion. Be careful. I am not holding USDT. I do not trust it as a stable coin. Whenever I want to sit in a stable valuation and swing trade or do anything like that, I'm either in US dollar or I choose to be in USDC because, in my opinion, it is much more regulated. So please be wary. All right. Next, so in other news, guys, we had this recent commentary by the PayPal CEO saying cryptocurrencies could see more utility soon. Of course, everybody wants to click any article like this. Bitcoin's up. It's all feelings of euphoria. We're never going to stop going up, up, and up. And right here, so we had on CNBC's Squawk Box, that's a weird word to say, this gentleman explained how the pandemic has declined the use of cash by 40 to 70%. Guys, trends are our friends. I'm not saying we're going, 100% digital anytime soon. What I'm saying is those of us that take advantage of these trends ahead of time before the majority can make a lot of money. And this is quite obvious. And the funny thing is, most people don't want to take initiative. Most people kind of wait till last minute. Remember those of us that were here 2017, 2016, the same concepts. And I know we're all jealous of the people that just got in now in 2018 and 2019 when XRP was low again. They don't even understand this opportunity that is at play here, and they can make a killing as well. So because of this, consumers no longer wanted to handle cash. And notice this, the CEO of PayPal predicted that cryptocurrencies, crypto assets, remember, US banks can literally hold them now, could see more utility as well. Additionally, with regard to the company's plans, he hoped early next year, we're going to allow cryptocurrencies to be a funding source for any transaction happening on all 28 million of our merchants, and that will significantly bolster the utility of cryptocurrencies. Remember, removing the barriers to entry, this is additional on-ramps and off-ramps to improve liquidity for this asset class. And the more liquid an asset is, the better it will do. Now, keep in mind with regulations, and we have a lot of privacy coins, some may do well. I mean, some charts look great and they'll just keep pushing onward. But keep in mind, for any type of privacy coins, if governments really didn't want it to succeed, they can slowly chip away at every on and off ramp and just attack each exchange individually. And what happens? There's not as much capital moving through it, and they slowly cut the roots that feed that, crypto, that plant that keep it alive. All right, it's not getting any more water, it's not getting any more liquidity, and that project could die. All right. Thankfully, that is not the case for the majority of the top maybe 200 assets. XRP's here to stay, hero or zero. Also, remember Pantera Capital, and then also Tim Draper with that new investment as well. There's big money in here. We know Square, we know PayPal, we know MicroStrategy. These guys are not going anywhere. They are looking to make money, and just like Warren Buffett said, the stock market is essentially, what do they say, a tool to transfer wealth from the impatient to the patient. Same concept applies here. If you guys have watched that video I uploaded last week titled The Great Transfer, or transfers coming, cryptocurrency transfer of wealth, please watch it. It is 1 minute and like 30 seconds or 2 minutes, and it will blow your mind. All right, keep going here. Right here, so U.S. Treasury Office wants to ban discrimination against crypto firms. A proposed rule change from the Office of the Comptroller, our boy Brian Brooks, formerly at Coinbase as well, and now he got rid of his $1 million plus salary job to come work for the government to change the game. And notice, essentially, this new rule change would prevent banks from denying financial services to competitors or businesses it does not like. No more discrimination. Essentially the same type of little synopsis here. Nothing we don't already know, nothing that we haven't seen since August and July, since that huge rule change as well. But pay attention to this, and then we also have to consider the Volcker rule as well. Next up, so also this was a recent article written by Ripple, November 10th, 2020, the OCC's embrace of digital assets and banks' opportunity to integrate them. And this is again written by Nick Bougalis, I believe. Yep, right here. And so I just want to read this first paragraph because I think it's very summed up. It's summed up very nicely. The OCC letter from July 2020 gives the green light to financial institutions to confidently develop their capabilities for handling digital assets, that's crypto, guys, cryptocurrencies, and their associated applications. Treading carefully when implementing progressive technologies, banks require methods with a track record of legal and regulatory compliance, as well as trust in the security and availability of the technologies. Speaking of security, this is really making me wonder where the heck PolySign is, and is it launching in 2020 like it was predicted? I mean, they said 2020 PolySign. Are they delaying it? Are they timing it with a Ripple IPO? What is happening? And I know many people are just as curious, as am I, regarding the SEC and the CFTC giving regulatory clarity toward XRP. We know Bitcoin has clarity. Ethereum has clarity in a variety of countries as well. We also know that the United Kingdom, the Financial Conduct Authority, the FCA, based out of the UK, already said XRP has non-security-like attributes. For God's sake, we have the former CFTC chairman that is an advisor on Ripple, and he's a part of a law firm that represents Ripple. And they've already gone through the Howey Act, or the, the Howey test, excuse me, for defining if it's a security or not. The same concept, guys. What's going to happen is this. There is either going to be clarity that XRP is some type of commodity, utility token, some new type of classification, or they're just going to drag it out and never give clarity, because if they don't give clarity, it's going to scare everyday people not to utilize it. And obviously, if you've been here for a while, you understand the professionals behind this team, even the entities behind and backing them. You can go back to SBI, who is one of the biggest investors of Ripple, and they're literally connected to, who is it? Is it the Rothschilds? Like, it's absolutely insane. So I don't even know what to tell people that think this is some scam. If anything, this is literally just going to be one of the biggest parts of the new financial ecosystem. All right, so we'll keep going here. Right here, so Coinbase has $20 billion under custody. I feel like, a few weeks ago I was talking about how Coinbase had maybe $11 billion worth of Bitcoin. Well, that doubled quickly. And keep in mind, a lot of the altcoins that they list, they hold, they have vested interest in. So we have to keep an eye on them, like many, such as OXT Orchid. I know many people want RSR, reserve rights, to be listed. Just a lot of assets, so pay close attention to them. You can see volume growing. We know Tether Volume. They talk about, obviously, prime brokerage, all this institutional demand and trading and liquidity. Every time a bull run comes, Coinbase's app shuts down. Why do you think that is? Now, I'm not bashing them. I'm just saying, a company that's worth, has $20 billion under custody. Last time we checked, when Bitcoin was low, they were valued at $8 billion. Do you really believe that they do not have the infrastructure to have servers to support everyday retail investors? Or do you think that when their servers crash, they can skim the tops, they can, charge you higher rates and just basically make more money off these spreads? You never know, all right? Just a thought. All right, right here, guys, last but not least, essentially on the daily hodl. So Ripple partner Zago utilizing XRP to move money across Africa. We know we're expanding in Latin America, Asia, Africa, the Middle East, etc. And we can see right here. So Zago operates a regulatory compliance XRP South African Rand, the ZAR, the ZAR, exchange that bypasses traditional payment rails. Now, many countries, as we know, want to get around the Belgium-based SWIFT system that is 40 years old. This is why XRP is such a value add for these smaller SMEs, these small and medium enterprises, these remittance platforms, and then it's working its way up. So do not be surprised that essentially everyone will know what XRP is and know what the company Ripple is someday. It truly is just like, for me, it's like a parallel between, Amazon, except instead of logistics and e-commerce, this is going to be value. And it's not even just going to be typical payments. It's going to be lending. It's revolutionizing how everything is occurring and everything we know and love today. All right. So right here, the company announced this week that it's receiving an investment from Imvelo Ventures, right here, company founded by South Africa-based Capitec Bank and investment firm Empowerment Capital Investment Partners. Notice, Zago CEO Mark says the funding will help fuel the company's mission to lower the cost and boost the speed of remittances. Interesting. Also comes to mind, just spitballing here, the letter of credit announcement by Ripple with XRP, obviously. We have 25 global exchanges on the discussion point about accepting the integration with us to open up South Africa. Now remember, South Africa is one of the BRICS nations as well. Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. Pay attention to this. Why is Ripple so tightly connected to these groups? Because they want to get out of SWIFT. It's complete bullying, in my opinion. And this is exactly what's happening. We are witnessing it, and they keep it on the DL. All right, we are working with the authorities on regulation around the space, and we're working with a couple of retail spaces to join the functionality down to the point of sale. Last video I even talked about Ripple meeting with the Central Bank of Cambodia, talking about XRP because Cambodia didn't want to use SWIFT. All these countries, Thailand with one of the biggest banks, utilizing RippleNet every day. And it's bidirectional. I'm going to keep making these videos and preaching, and whether XRP goes to $5 or goes to 50 cents, it does not matter. I'm investing for the future because I know what I hold. Notice payment speed is essential. If you had to take, for example, Bitcoin, it takes 12 minutes to clear on average. Well, when a bull run comes, I know people that took 2 days. I've personally witnessed hours, maybe a full day for a transaction to occur when price was moving steady. Or the Ethereum network takes 3 minutes. XRP, on average, every single time without fail, 3 to 5 seconds. Now, if any newcomers go, "Oh, Kevin, that's not true. I sent XRP from one exchange to another, and it took an hour." That's not XRP being sent. That's just the exchange actually approving your withdrawal. That is just kind of manual override. If you were sending between two, wallets that you actually owned the private keys to, and you had the destination tag, all that information, you'd be fine. You'd be able to send it between each other instantly. All right. And for example, like my kevincage.crypto in the top right, I'm able to do that with, Trust Wallet is an integration, a mobile app, and I can send XRP to someone else within seconds, like without fail. So just wanted to share that. And I'm excited to cover this. So this is liquidity in global markets. Now, I've been reading a lot about the recent engineering pages and articles that Ripple's been putting out regarding dislocation, spot and FX rates, all of this. And this liquidity in global markets was put out after the crash that we witnessed in March 2020. And this is written by Brianne Madigan. Now, I believe it was her. It may have been Monica Long, Michelle Bond, maybe Marjan Delatine. It was somebody at Ripple, and I believe it was Brienne though, so correct me if I'm wrong. And it was maybe in 2019 before this whole crash happened, and they said it is the sign of a maturing market if crypto assets can withstand a crash. So if they can go to extremely low prices where everybody just thinks they're not coming back, then they recover. So like when we went to 12 to 15 cents for XRP, then we quickly recovered back to that 25 cent, 30 cent region and developed and got back to our prior liquidity and volume. That is a sign of a maturing market. So I know people get down, but they don't get how confident and excited I am after we recover from these crashes, because it just goes to show we are here to stay. We are solving problems on an institutional level. So very important to understand, depth of liquidity, order books. For all you nerds, I highly recommend looking and, learning more about it. And as we remember, guys, Brianne Madigan right here on LinkedIn, we can see her background. As we remember, currently the VP, head of global institutional markets. She's been at Ripple for almost 2 years, and she was previously at Goldman Sachs for a good 11 years plus. So keep that in mind. Very exciting. And also, Marjan Delatine was previously, and she's currently head of bank or global head of banking at Ripple. And remember, she was at Swift 4 years and was the business director, essentially in charge of selling Swift GPI. And who did Swift get their GPI product from? Essentially just Ripple X Current. Ripple is a fintech. They can move faster. They have more funds. Swift is a dinosaur. They do not have the funding or the money to be as versatile. They're archaic. They still have people using like handwriting notes, and there's different amounts of digits. There's no standard messaging across platforms. Please, Ripple can just move quickly. We know the former CEO of Ripple, the former CEO of Swift, Godfried Lebrant, before retiring, he said Ripple's the real giant here, saying that he was in fact small in that analogy when they were on stage together. Words mean things. And if you're anything like me and you expect the crypto market will grow significantly in the future, having crypto assets and even gold and silver in your Roth IRA means that all of your gains in your account will grow 100% tax-free. We have Ethereum, XRP, we have XLM on the way alongside with Chainlink, a variety of options. 1 month free if you use the link in the video description. Hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.